disturbing. We're gonna go to the camera store. It's gonna be my first camera store that I've been to in like, how long ago? It was 2011, 2010?
I don't know, forever.
Okay, so yeah, it was literally forever. I've never been to a camera store since. All my purchases have been through Amazon and online. It's the first time I get to go to a camera store and see them. But we're gonna go because he needs to buy some stuff. I'm trying to get him to buy a new camera, but that's not gonna happen.
It's not happening.
So he's gonna get something else.
But if it could happen, it would.
And we're gonna see if he can be today.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. You know how people used to record themselves constantly? Like it wasn't to be a vlogger. It wasn't to make a short film or something. It was just to record everyday life and then rewatch the years down the line on VHS with your family as like a Friday night, Saturday night activity. People don't do that anymore. When I do photograph a relative or someone that's important to me, I add like more of an artistic flair, so it starts resembling like something you'd see that was painted or something blown up on the wall. So it has more meaning behind it. There's stuff that I actually thought out, that I put it down to the pose, the elements around it, where I photographed them. So there's a story that gets wrapped around the actual image versus just like taking like an everyday shot of them to capture them in a more meaningful way, whether that's through video or through a photograph. Like the pictures that I have of
They're beautiful.
my grandparents,
They're beautiful.
no one in my family has that sort of photograph of them. No one in my family has ever taken a picture like that of them. So I think it's pretty meaningful. That to me is definitely going to be a reminder of them. It's something I cherish. It's part of the reason why I like focus so hard on just emphasize backup solutions and making sure that those images are never lost, because those are treasures to me. Treasures that most of my family doesn't have, of my grandparents, you know. Most people don't have pictures of their relatives like that. When I first had my camera, my DSLR, I had nothing in terms of money to be able to buy any sort of equipment. And so the way I like rationalized sort of what I was going through at that time was I constantly said it. Whoever photographed with me then and there, all the people that we hung out with high school that like, you know, I photographed and like helped me every now and then on like weekends. The thing that I would always say to them, or even to people that I had the opportunity to photograph, was we work with what we have. I work with what I have. We work with what I have. I mean, I think that's the most important thing. You get yourself some bare bones equipment, good stuff if you can, nothing too crazy. And then you just try to focus how you can, you know, be as creative as possible with being so limited. At that time, I also had a prime lens, so I was only working with a 50 millimeter. So even then, I didn't have the ability to zoom in. I had to physically move in and out of the shot. It pushes you to think a little bit more creatively, to actually find your footing, to build a frame, to look into the frame and see what you have. And I started working with like high profile people in the city who have like unlimited resources, unlimited equipment, rentals, just like connections in general. And then when I left from there, I came out feeling that I too needed to have everything that they had to work with in order to sort of achieve the same sort of magic that they could produce. But then I forgot that, like, you know, even earlier on in the work of like these high profile photographers, they didn't have all that. They just have the luxury of doing that now. And so that's not exactly necessary. I think I was stuck in a deep hole because I worked for these people for like 2 years, that I felt I needed to have everything that they had to get as close to the quality of work that they had. But that's not really the important thing. So if you could go back and constantly remind yourself to work with what you have. I think for you, especially as a beginner, I think that's the most important thing that you can do for yourself, in terms of pushing yourself creatively with what you currently have in your hands, this camera.
Now that we're getting closer, I'm realizing there really is no food spots.
No, that's what I'm saying. Well, I didn't know.
I thought like we were going on the highway
There's
gonna
McDonald's.
Pass. You'll see.
It's very hard if you don't have like, if you're not like outside of like your everyday environment, because it becomes like so boring, very mundane, or you just don't see why it was everyday stuff. But if you do slot out the time in your schedule to make sure that you find yourself in a different environment.
I never asked you. How come you never got into video?
I don't know. To me, it seems a little bit too more like complicated. I think I get anxiety as it is, just being able to set out and think fully through an image that I want.
I feel like that's gonna be my next step. What you're talking about, getting into an image.
Mhm.
I see what these videographers do with their scripts. I'm like, fuck. I don't even think about that.
The script, yeah, script.
I have an idea of like what I want something to be, but I don't know how I'm gonna get there. And I realize these people think about every shot, the way they shoot the shot, the angle of the shot, what they're gonna say for the shot. And I'm like, damn. Maybe I'll do that when I am done with school and be more serious, but then that becomes more of a job and less of a hobby.
But I mean, go think back to that one guy. I'm like, how often does he post videos? It takes a lot of time. It's every month because there's so much that goes into it. The scripting thing, I don't think you should overthink it too much. It's literally about writing, but like you're visually telling the story, right? So you want to tell a story, you want to ask yourself what you want to convey, and then you're just going to break it down into different shots where it's going to be particularly, and then from there you can go even further and be like, okay, so now in that scene, how can I express that? Okay, by doing this, in terms of shots, how many shots is it going to take to express that one thing? And so I think jotting it down and stuff like that, that's definitely going to help you a lot.
I love how there's always a pause because you're driving.
Yeah, no.
But I'm the same way. I will have a conversation, and when I'm focused, I like completely tune out. I'm like, I don't want to die.
No.
That's the first thing I was like, we don't want to die.
No, I mean, like, if you want to start something basic, I think that's some assignment that you could put for yourself. Want to take your videos to the next level? Definitely just sit down and just write out a small scene and how you're going to break it down and do it. So everything you need is going to be like laid out for you.
Okay, so I guess we're here. This does not look like a camera store. This looks like a prison.
Essentially.
This does not look like. This looks very sketch. Some back alley. And you said you've been here before.
Yeah, it's just a.
I think
It's just a big like warehouse and stuff. It's not as big as the other camera stores.
I find this to be very, very weird. It's not how I envisioned the store.
What did you do?
I don't know, but it's not this. I expected it to be like, I don't know. Oh wow, you're right. So we went. It was my first time. It wasn't very impressive. I wasn't impressed by how it looked, but I was impressed by the people who kind of made it worthwhile. Very knowledgeable, same interests. So it's like I'm no longer the weird guy that thinks the camera gear. There's someone else that is just as weird as me, and I sort of convinced Christian to buy a camera.
It didn't take much.
Well, yeah, we got to see it. It's nice. It's new. It's different. But yeah, she recommended a spot. We didn't eat there because we're crunched for time where we sat. I had Christian check the time to see what works for him, and down to tell the person that we gotta go, and we just got beverages and took takeout, right?
Yeah.
And now we're rushing to his house, and hopefully he has enough time to eat half, and I have enough time to eat as well.
We didn't get any time today to actually test the lighting, considering I don't have the adapter. But probably the next time, be able to get some shots of us actually working through the setup, both indoor and outdoor. So that I'm really looking forward to that.
I think overall, I like this experience.
Yeah, next time we'll go to B&H.
Is it the same? Is it the same or better?
Oh no, definitely more populated in terms of products and stuff. The ceilings are lower, but it's always full.
Side note: would you work a unique photo now that I showed you the salary, 52 to 89K?
Yeah,
Let me know. Any discounts on gear?
I would if that's what they're paying. Absolutely. Run it through the machine again.